Vamos a ver Spider-Man, gente. Vamos a reaccionar, vamos a ver qué tal el Deep Dive. 7 minutos. Locos, además.
What is going on, summoners? We're back here today with another
Las animaciones son increíbles.
Today,
o sea, eso de que cambie ahí me encanta.
So, sit back and relax, because it's time to get into it.
Abajo, abajo, eso me fascina también. La idea de que tengas que mover es increíble. O sea, son cosas que me gustan, la verdad. Esos detalles son chidos.
Spider-Punk enters the contest with an annihilated
¡Oh, es
body
inmune a la ruptura!
Granting him immunity to concussion debuffs and rupture effects.
Otro personaje inmune a la ruptura.
He also hates...
Otro personaje científico, por cierto. ¿Quiénes son inmunes a la ruptura? Según yo, solo Scorpion. Ahora Spider-Punk. Y no sé por qué siento que hay otro que no recuerdo, güey.
So, he...
¿Cómo?
Effects. He...
No mames, está de huevos. Odia las etiquetas, por lo cual por cada etiqueta en el oponente consigue 15 más de ataque. Es poquito, Pero bueno, está bien. Es un pequeño buff.
Increased attack rating for each tag on himself and the opponent. Spider-Punk will rupture his opponent's ears off. Unless otherwise stated, his personal rupture debuffs last for 14 seconds and max out at 8 stacks. But sit tight, we'll get to those later. Now, when performing a well-timed block against basic attacks, he has a 100% chance to evade, inflicting a stun passive. Basic attacks, he has a 100% chance to evade, inflicting a stun passive for 3 seconds. This is removed when the opponent is struck twice. And
es como el de Kate Bishop, ¿no? Literal.
Goes on cooldown for 16 seconds. While this cooldown is active, each time he would be struck by a light or medium attack while dashing forward, he has a 100% chance to evade the hit, inflicting a stun passive for 2 seconds. But be careful, while defending, this ability is always active.
Hostias, qué molesto va a ser este güey. No, qué molesto, güey. Qué molesto,
also,
man.
When Spider-Punk intercepts the opponent, he inflicts a physical vulnerability debuff for 15 seconds, maxing out at 2 stacks. And each time he does, his evade cooldown is shortened by 6 seconds. On the first hit of his heavy attack, he refreshes all personal physical vulnerability debuffs on the opponent. The final hit inflicts a taunt debuff for 2 seconds and grants the opponent 0 power if above 1 bar.
¿Cómo?
And grants the opponent 0 power if above 1 bar. Seconds and grants the opponent 0 power if above 1 bar.
Wow, o sea, no les va a dar poder, está cagado.
Now, Spider-Punk gathers a crowd wherever he goes. As a defender, or while fighting in battlegrounds, he starts with 150. Otherwise, he starts with 0. But when defeating an opponent, half of the crowd stays for his next match. However, if he's defeated, they all leave. And when either champion dodges or punishes a special attack, he gains 10 crowd members for each bar of power spent. When he triggers his evade on a well-timed block, he gains 30. But each time he's knocked down, he loses 15.
Okay.
The crowd hypes the amp up to 11, increasing the potency of personal ruptures based on the size of the crowd. And once it reaches 200, he gains an unstoppable passive when activating a special attack, lasting for 3 seconds after the attack.
No está mal.
Now, let's check out his special attacks.
Me encanta, es que me gusta eso.
On activation of his special 1, he removes all personal ruptures on the opponent, and for each rupture removed, each hit inflicts an instant
No está mal.
Dealing a burst of physical damage, scaling with the remaining time left on the ruptures. With the special 2, the final 3 hits are guitar strum attacks that inflict a...
Mira, los falló, creo, ¿no? Aquí creo que los falló y aparecen como, claro, fallo, miss.
rupture debuff. These can be inflicted through blocks that are not well timed.
Oh.
As an attacker, 3 chords are generated, and swiping up or down while the chords are active amplifies the hit, bringing in 10 crowd members. And if all hits are amplified, he inflicts an additional rupture.
Ah, está guapísimo. Esto es un especial muy simple, pero está bien, ¿sabes?
The Special 3. At the end of this attack, he inflicts 3 rupture debuffs. And once per fight, the duration of his ruptures are permanently increased by 25%. Also, a perfect result during the Special 3 minigame brings 150 crowd members to the fight. But only 100 if the minigame is failed. Now, let's check out his signature ability.
No suena, no se ve mal.
When awakened, each time the opponent finishes a special attack, he inflicts an encore passive for the corresponding special. While active, the opponent is 70% more likely to throw the same special attack. This maxes out at 3 stacks, and is removed if the opponent performs a different special. Additionally, for each encore active, the opponent's attack rating during special attacks is reduced by up to 24%.
Hostias. And es como la pasiva del Mr. Fantástico.
Inflicting an encore passive while an encore is already active has up to a 100% chance to inflict a rupture debuff. Now, let's see those chords in action in the champion rotation.
A ver.
To begin, parry the opponent to trigger your evade and start building your crowd. You could intercept the opponent to shorten your cooldown and stack physical vulnerability. Bait the opponent's specials to begin building your encore passes to stack ruptures and gather a larger crowd. Now, Spider-Punk will evade when struck by a basic attack while dashing when his evade is on cooldown, so don't be afraid to take a risk. From here, keep this cycle going as you build to just under 3 bars of power. And keep in mind, if the opponent has projectile specials, you'll build that crowd much quicker. Now that you're all set up, launch your...
Tiene física, o sea, vulnerabilidad física, 290 de estas. Y especial 2, a ver. 3 encores en el especial 1.
To stack ruptures and strum up or down to stack on even more. And then follow it up with a special 1 to remove your ruptures and deal instant rupture burst damage on every
No se ve
hit.
mal, pero no me encanta, gente. No sé ustedes qué piensan, la verdad, no me fascina.
Making it much easier to build
no lo veo tan fuerte, bro.
Special 2 with maximum rupture potency. And hey, in a longer fight, you could follow
o sea, no se ve mal, pero tampoco lo veo OP, ¿sabes? Lo veo que está bien, creo, supongo.
Launch to crank the amp up to 11 and increase the duration of your rupture effects by 25%.
O sea, las animaciones están chingonas, me gustan.
Use those encore passives to stack on a larger amount of ruptures and juice up that special 1 burst even further. And since he did such a good job,
es que no está mal, a lo mejor su daño puede escalar muy bien. Pero es cuestión de probarlo, pero ahí es un rango 3 o un rango 4, ya ni sé, güey. Tiene mucha potencia.
Thank you for watching this champion deep dive for
no está mal, no está mal. No está mal, gente. No sé ustedes qué piensan, qué opinan de este brother.
Like, comment.
O sea, me gustó, o sea, está bonito el personaje, pero no sé, güey. Así de primera no me parece que esté roto. Creo que va a estar bien. O sea, creo que va a estar fuerte, pero nada del otro mundo, ¿sabes? Vamos a ver al Prowler, que este loco sí que se veía OP, güey. Este sí que se veía rotísimo.
Today, we're talking about Prowler.
Ok. Tecnológico va a estar roto, creo.
Sit back and relax, because it's time to get into it.
Let's go, Let's go. A ver, explícame, papá.
Prowler enters the contest with
inmunidad a la hemorragia, a la incineración. Oh, y tiene un buen bloqueo a los especiales.
Made flak armor. granting him immunity to bleed and incinerate effects.
Está bien.
It also increases his block proficiency during the opponent's special attacks.
Bien.
Prowler is...
De momento, estas tres cosas ya lo veo mejor que el Spider-Man, no es broma. Con esto ya lo veo mejor que el Spider-Man, así de simple, güey. No mames, es inmune al flaqueo, güey. Y tiene 115 de precisión de habilidad.
Unyielding and unrelenting, making him immune to falter, and granting him 115% ability accuracy. Also, he doesn't benefit from the tech mastery.
Curioso.
Instead, he gains additional critical damage rating for each rank invested. And each time he would land a...
Esta es la primera vez que veo algo así, güey. O sea... Esto es muy interesante. O sea, a cada nivel que tengas en esta maestría, el efecto no le beneficia, por lo que leí, pero va a ganar 108 de crítico, de daño crítico. Bueno, rating, creo que es probabilidad de daño crítico por cada rango. O sea, si la tienes en rango 5 son 500 más de daño crítico. ¡Qué locura!, ¿no?
Critical damage rating.
También te digo, ponerte una maestría que solo... Es que es muy raro, güey. Es la primera vez que pienso hay un personaje que se beneficia de esta manera de una maestría. Muy raro, la verdad. Yo no la activaría de todas formas.
For each rank invested. And each time he would land a critical hit, he instead inflicts a rupture passive,
pues sí,
dealing the
lo vale,
critical
lo
damage.
mejor. Claro, tener más probabilidad de daño crítico hace que puedas poner más rupturas. No está mal.
The hit.
Claro, es que está rotísimo, tiene todo, güey. No falla, o sea, no pueden fallar sus golpes. Sus ataques medios no son evadibles. O sea, tiene para flaqueo, tiene para evasiones, tiene para precisiones de habilidades, tiene inmunidad a hemorragia y incineración. De momento lo veo rotísimo, güey. Solo por esto ya lo veo muy fuerte.
Over 1 second.
Qué locura.
Now, his medium attacks are non-contact pneumatic blasts that can't be evaded. His second medium inflicts a falter passive for 3 seconds, which is paused.
His second medium, ¿no? Acabar
His
en
second
medio.
medium inflicts a falter passive for 3 seconds, which is paused during his special attacks. This can't be inflicted if the opponent is already faltered, and while it's active, the opponent acts more aggressive. Also, if it causes a miss, it goes on cooldown for 10 seconds. Additionally, he inflicts a falter passive for 1 second if his special attacks would be punished.
¿Qué? O sea, si le vas a castigar su especial, ¿te pone flaqueo? Hostia, como defensor también va a estar castroso, güey.
So falter passive for 1 second if his special
O sea, literalmente si lo vas a atacar...
attacks would be punished.
Uy, me parece bastante cerdo, Me parece bastante molesto. Uy. No vas a poder castigar esos especiales. Qué asco, güey.
After the opponent activates a special attack,
Güey, está rotísimo,
he power
¿no?
drains their remaining power and inflicts a power lock passive, lasting 1.5 seconds. And for every 1.1% of the opponent's max power that is drained or burned, he gains 1 power creep charge, maxing out at 30 stacks. Landing a heavy attack against an opponent with 0 power causes the final 4 hits to inflict a non-stacking incinerate debuff for 20 seconds. And if a personal rupture expires on an incinerated opponent, it explodes, dealing a burst
Ok, es por eso.
of physical damage. Now, let's check out
Se ve que está rotísimo, O sea, no es broma. Con lo poco que ha dicho, se ve rotísimo. Inmunidad buena, no falla golpes, no le evaden con los medios, no pierde precisión de habilidades, tiene roturas, o sea, tiene buen daño en roturas. En plan, no hay casi nadie inmune a la rotura, ¿sabes? Está muy bien.
Special attacks.
Se ve muy bien. Tiene buen bloqueo a los especiales. Hay algo que este güey no haga bien, ¿sabes? O sea, en plan, está rotísimo.
On his special activation, each power creep charge is converted into a fury passive for 10 seconds, paused during special attacks.
Besos 5000, güey. Y este brother es un rango 1, rango 2, diría yo. Yo diría que es un rango 1 este güey. 20.000 me parece de rango 1, ¿no? Está rotísimo. Bro, está rotísimo. O sea, está rotísimo.
And on activation of his special one,
no le pueden evadir. Está rotísimo.
He gains a pursuit passive for 30 seconds. While this is active, the opponent cannot...
Y aparte tiene una habilidad que hace que no evada. Increíble, güey. O sea, no solo los medios, sino que su habilidad 1 le pone persecución que no lo evade.
This attack does not grant power to the opponent, and the final hit inflicts a taunt debuff for 4 seconds. And the final also this attack does not grant power to the opponent.
Bro, se ve rotísimo,
the final hit inflicts a taunt debuff for 4 seconds. With the special 2, the first hit refreshes and pauses all personal ruptures until the final hit of this attack, and each hit inflicts a rupture passive, lasting for 1 second after the attack.
Bueno, duran muy poquito, pero vean lo que le quita. Vean lo que le quita, güey. 71% de vida.
Attack, and each hit inflicts a rupture passive, lasting for 1 second after the attack.
34% de vida. Verga, güey.
The Special 3.
El especial 3 está muy feo, o sea, está muy simple. At the end of
this attack, the opponent is granted a 100% power efficiency passive for 30 seconds. Also, Prowler ditches the niceties and overcharges his gauntlets until the end of his next special attack, granting him plus 50% combat power rate, but disabling his special 2 and 3. Additionally, while active,
mira, sí, una vez que tira el 3 no puede tirar ni especial 2 ni 3.
His power creep charges are not removed on conversion, and new fury passives do not count towards the cap of 30. And new fury passives do not. His power creep charges are not removed.
Ok. Tira especial 1,
2 and 3. Additionally, while active,
flaqueo para poner las furias.
Power creep charges are not
golpe
removed
fuerte,
on conversion, and new fury passives do not count towards the cap of 30. Now,
especial 2, tenía flaqueo cuando tiró especial 2.
Count towards the cap of
no,
30.
No tenía flaqueo.
Now, let's check out his signature ability.
Wow, qué bárbaro, güey.
While the opponent is faltered, Prowler gains increased critical rating, scaling with Sig level. Additionally, while Prowler has at least 30 fury effects, his special attacks are passively unblockable.
Ok, es parte de su. Ok, es parte de su singularidad. Vale, está bien.
His special attacks
igual está
are
rotísimo el personaje, creo,
Now, let's put it all together in the champion rotation.
Se ve fuertísimo el personaje, gente.
To begin, you'll want to bait a couple specials to build power creep charges, so perform a medium ending combo to inflict your falter just under 2 bars, and launch your special 1 to pause it and inflict your taunt. From here, build to about 1.5 bars of power, and bait another special attack to max out your charges. And while they're power locked, punish with a medium and heavy through your falter to inflict your incinerate. Then, before the falter expires, launch your special 2 to gain your furies, stack up ruptures, and watch the fireworks explode.
Boom. Bro, literalmente se acaba de vencer a un enemigo de no sé cuántos cientos de miles de vida en... ¿Cuánto tiempo? 4:17.
You'll want to bait a couple specials to build power creep charges, so perform a medium ending combo to inflict your falter just under 2 bars, and launch your special 1 to pause it and inflict your taunt. From here, build to about 1.5 bars of power, and bait another special attack to max out your charges. And while they're power locked, punish with a medium and heavy through your falter to inflict.
Pero vean, aquí tiene 64% de vida, güey. En 46.
Inflict your incinerate. Then, before the falter expires, launch your special.
Lo malo es que para hacer esto tienes que tener la dúplica. Yo creo que eso es lo único malo del personaje.
2 to gain your furies, stack up ruptures, and watch the fireworks explode.
En 10 segundos, güey. Le acaba de bajar 64% de vida, ¿no? En 10 segundos. Qué barbaridad.
Incinerate.
En 10 segundos le bajó ese 60. Son como 400.000 de vida, no es broma. O será menos, unos 300.000.
Now, if you're up against one of those pesky evaders, keep in mind, your mediums can't be evaded, and your pursuit passive from Special 1 will prevent the opponent from evading any of your attacks. So, when you need it, keep it active. But don't be scared of those mediums if it happens to fall off. And hey, if you need some extra juice, you can launch your Special 3 to overcharge your gauntlets and build to 3 bars of power. And once you're ready for the finale, beta Special, then medium into your Special 1, directly into a heavy attack, and then finish it all off with a supercharged Special 2 with double the fury.
What? Está rotísimo el Prowler. Está rotísimo el Prowler, güey. De verdad está rotísimo el Prowler, güey. Qué locura, güey. Está rotísimo el Prowler, güey. Batman across the multiverse and comes out. Nada más.
He doesn't.
¿Qué es eso, güey? La puta maestría. Literal, ¿qué demonios es eso? Wow. Lo veo muy fuerte, gente. No sé ustedes qué opinan, no sé ustedes qué piensan, pero lo veo bastante tocho al Prowler, Lo veo bastante tocho al Prowler, la verdad. Lo veo muy tocho al puto Prowler. ¿Qué pedo, güey?